Thanks for tuning in. Today we're creating a dish from the southernmost province of the Netherlands, Limburg. It's called Zuurvlees and it is made by marinating meat in a vinegar mixture overnight. Hi, I'm Toine and welcome to my kitchen. If you're new to this channel, I focus on cooking food from my home country, the Netherlands, and some of its former colonies such as Indonesia. As a kid, we would go to Limburg on vacation, and that is where I had zuurvlees for the very first time. Literally translated sour meat, it is anything but sour. Originally this dish was made with horse meat, but nowadays everyone really makes it with beef, which is what I'll be doing. The meat is marinated in a mixture of water, vinegar and some spices, which is probably where it gets this name from. To make zuurvlees, you will need 300 milliliters of water, 375 milliliters of white vinegar, 350 grams of onion, 10 peppercorns, 10 juniper berries, 5 cloves, 5 bay leaves, 100 grams of ontbijtkoek or honey cake, 80 grams of appelstroop, 1 teaspoon of speculaaskruiden, 40 grams of brown sugar, butter to brown the meat, salt and pepper to taste. I've made honey cake, appelstroop and speculaaskruiden before, and I'll put a link to those recipes in the description below. And last, but certainly not least, 1 kilogram of meat that can really hold up and stand up to a long cook like a stew. I am using brisket, but you can also use chuck or boneless short ribs. It's time to make the marinade. In a non-reactive bowl, add your juniper berries. Juniper berries have a piney flavor and actually are one of the main ingredients for a Dutch liquor called jenever. Next come the peppercorns, the cloves, and the bay leaves. And we're going to cover that with the water and the vinegar. Just going to give it a quick stir. And now I'm going to add the onion I cut into big chunks. Careful not to splash like I just did. As well as the brisket. I've cut the brisket into chunks and removed any excess fat. You can leave some of the fat in there because fat is flavor and it will render out during cooking, but you want to remove the silver skin and any really big thick pieces of fat. Make sure that all the beef is covered by the liquid. It's okay if some of the other ingredients aren't, but you want to make sure that the beef is covered. We're going to cover this and put it in the fridge for 12 hours overnight, up to 24 hours. Whenever you think of it, go and give it a stir to make sure that all the pieces of meat have the same exposure to the liquid. You don't have to wake yourself up in the middle of the night, but if you're awake, go into the fridge, give it a quick stir, again, just to make sure that everything is evenly marinating. We'll see you when it's done. It's been 24 hours since we started marinating the meat, so now the next step is to remove the meat from the marinade and put it on a paper towel to dry it off. We're drying it off so that when we fry it up later, it doesn't splatter too much from the liquid. I probably gave this a stir 3 times during the 24 hours. You don't have to do it every hour or so, but you can see that the meat has changed colors and the vinegar really tenderizes it. Oh, I see a juniper berry right there. All right, last piece of meat. And we're going to do the same thing with the onions and the bay leaves. So we're going to put the bay leaves to the side. There were 5 if I remember correctly, so almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where are you hiding, bay leaf? Maybe I had 4 bay leaves. I could swear I had 5. Oh, there it is. It's hiding. I'm going to get some more paper towel in a minute to dry off the tops. Smells very good in here. Actually the smell of the onion with the vinegar and the meat, it kind of smells like a frikandel speciaal right now. I don't know why, but it does. Maybe it's because, you know, typically you get zuurvlees in a snack bar served over fries. So Maybe that's why it smells like that to me. Okay, good enough. I'm gonna put this aside. I'll dry that off more. I'm going to pour off the marinade through a strainer. Okay. So let me go dry off the rest of the meat. I'm going to move this out of the way so I can put the burner in front of me, and then we'll keep going. I have a Dutch oven on medium-high heat, preheating, and I'm just going to put some butter in there. And we're going to brown the meat in 2 stages, because otherwise it will overcrowd the pan. All the butter is melted, so now we're going to brown the meat. I'm always very tempted to touch it, but you should leave it sit so it has a nice chance to brown. Let's take a look. No, not browning yet, so we're going to leave it be. As you can see, the meat is starting to brown, so I'm going to flip it over. We want to brown it on all sides. Smells good. Okay, I'm going to give it another flip. All right, the first batch of beef has browned, so I'm going to take it out of the pot and then continue browning the rest of the meat. The second batch of meat has finished browning. Now I'm going to add all the other meat in, as well as the onions, just kind of nestle them in between. That's a piece of paper, don't take that. Just going to brown the onions a little bit before we add the liquid. The onions are starting to take on a little color, so we can add the liquid. We're going to bring this to a boil, and there may be some foam on top. If there is, you can skim it off. If there isn't, great. Then we're going to put the lid on it, change the heat to low, and let it simmer for 2 hours. It has come to a boil, and there is indeed some foam on top, so I'm going to skim that off best I can. I'm going to turn down the heat already to a low simmer. You know what I forgot to do? Add the bay leaves in here. We will, take them out at the end because you don't want to eat these, but they're not done yet imparting their flavor on the dish. Okay, now we're going to cover it with a lid and let it simmer for 2 hours. While the beef is simmering, if you're enjoying this video, please click the like and subscribe button. It will really help our channel. And if you want YouTube to notify you whenever we post a new video, click the bell. It's been 2 hours. Let's take a look at the beef. First thing I'm going to do is hunt for bay leaves again. So I know there's 5. 1, 2, 3. I see one there. 4. Ooh, I think I see it. There you go. 5. Now that the bay leaves are removed, I'm going to add the appelstroop. Add the brown sugar and the speculaaskruiden. Going to stir that around until everything is dissolved. Oh, you can smell those speculaaskruiden. I'm using my metal spoon just to help get all the appelstroop off the spoon. There you go. Smells very good. Can't wait to eat this. You can see here the beef is just falling apart. Fantastic. Now I'm going to crumble in the honey cake, which will act as a binder, thickening the sauce. Originally ontbijtkoek, but if you can't find it, you can make my honey cake recipe. It works just as well. It's weird, isn't it? Putting cake in your beef stew, but trust me, it will work out. Okay. Gonna stir that up until it is all dissolved. If your pieces are a little bigger, you can use your spoon to help break it up, but the warm liquid will help dissolve the honey cake into the sauce. And you can see already that the sauce is thickening up. So we didn't add any salt or pepper, so I'm going to give it a quick sample. Look how thick that sauce has gotten from the cake. To see if I need to add any salt or pepper, or maybe even some additional sugar. I'm going to add a pinch of salt, a little bit of pepper. This is really to your taste. Now I'm going to let it simmer for another 5, maybe 10 minutes, and then it'll be time to serve. Okay, time to taste. Zuurvlees. Eet Smakelijk. There's a definite tang, but the appelstroop and the sugar and the spices really complement it, and then the hardiness of the beef. It is such a good combination. One more bite. This is going to taste great over some fresh French fries, which I'm going to be making tomorrow. This is one of those dishes that is actually better the next day after you keep it in the fridge and then reheat it. So this will be my wife and I's dinner tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to share it with your friends. If you have any questions about the recipe, please put them in the comments below. I'll post a written recipe with imperial and metric measurements on my website, toineskitchen.com, and you can follow me on social media. If you make Zuurvlees, I would love it if you take a photo and post it on Instagram with the hashtag ToinesKitchen, and I will post it in my story and on my website. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.